100 years of research actually shows that at the beginning of the school year after a summer break, kids actually regress during the summer. 95% of tutors say that the best way to keep kids from regressing or having that summer slide is to stay active in reading. Be sure to watch this to the end for a couple of bonus tips to keep your child from the summer slide. Hi guys, I'm Rebecca with Cherished Children Ministries. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching this video. Today I'm going to give you some ways to keep your kids reading during the summer, because we all know during the summer we get really busy and a lot of times our kids kind of forget some things, and it's what we call the summer slide. So I'm going to give you some easy and some fun ways to keep your kids reading all summer long. The first tip that I have is very easy. You probably can guess it, is visiting the library. So I have 3 boys and my youngest is 6, and this year he got his very first library card. We just have a local library in our small town, and the library is a very friendly place. We have a kids section, a kids area, and we went one day this last week, and this is the stack of books that he brought. You can see the stack of books that he picked out from the library, and he also got 2 audiobooks with 4 books on each audio device. So he was super excited. We sat down in the library together at one of the tables, and he picked out all of these books. I read aloud to him each book that he wanted, and he actually put them in piles of, he wanted to check out this book, and then in the piles of books that he was going to leave at the library for next time. Visit the library often. So the second tip that I have for you to keep your kids reading for the summer is to make sure that you create a kid-friendly reading environment. Now, I'm a mom of 3 boys, so this is probably going to look different for me than it might for you if you have girls. It really doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that it is very kid-friendly. So my boys really like to read in their clubhouse. If you have kids that really like to be indoors, that's okay too. Get some really fun pillows and just make the area a very warm, a very comfortable, a very friendly kind of environment. Sprinkle lots of color in it, maybe with some posters or some shapes or some different designs, but make sure that it is friendly, and then give your children that free time to read. With my kids, we like to have about 20 minutes of quiet time each day in our own individual rooms, where it's our own individual quiet time, and then we can come together for reading time or some time whenever they want to have a read aloud together. Keep reading even if the material is non-academic. Non-academic reading material is still reading. It is still keeping the cognitive abilities strong. Something else that I really like to do during the summer is to start a long series of books. So pick a series that is interesting to your own children. For my kids, and actually I could advise it for anybody really, a really fun series or a couple of fun series of books that I could recommend would be The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. My kids love those books, and I would advise, if your kids are smaller than 6, be very cautious, because there are some detailed events that happen in those books. So just use your own judgment. Another series I would recommend are the Little House on the Prairie books. We've gone through the entire series of those books, and my kids love them. Another series that I would suggest would be the Imagination Station series. It's kind of a spin-off, the Magic Treehouse series. Those are really good too. This is just a different take on it. Another series that I could recommend would be the Young Wit series. It seems like whenever I'm reading aloud to all 3 of my children during kind of some quiet time or down part of the day, I'll say, hey guys, it's time for reading time together, and we'll sit together. They really look forward to it, and I'll say, I'm just going to read 1 or 2 chapters today, and then you guys can go and have your own quiet time, and I'll get to the 1 or 2 chapters, and it will leave us hanging, and they'll want me to keep reading. I can't tell you how many times I've been on maybe chapter 14 or 15, and the book had 20 chapters in it, And we went ahead and finished in that time because they were so excited to see what happened next. Now, that doesn't happen every time, but sometimes it does. But here's the thing with series books. It leaves them wanting more. Another series of books that you could read are the Boxcar Children or the Babysitter's Club books. Those are always fun books too. Another series could be the Hardy Boy books or the Nancy Drew mystery book. Now, I know those are older books, but it seems like whenever I read them aloud to my kids or even to my students at school, they really love them. So a lot of kids really like to do some challenges over the summer, like some reading challenges. So I'll give you just a couple of those if you want to incorporate those. Some kids don't like these at all, but if your kid is one of those that does like this kind of thing, read 2 books by the same author. Read outside for 1 hour. Here's a fun one. Read with a flashlight for 30 minutes. Read to a sibling. Read to a parent. Read a newspaper article. Read a recipe. Read an online book. Read a book about an animal. Read 5 poems out loud. Read to one of your pets or to a stuffed animal. Read out loud to someone for 10 minutes. Read everything on the cereal box. Read an online article. Read the newspaper. Read a nonfiction book. Read a fiction book. So these are just some fun ways to challenge your child to read during the summer. You can tack it on your refrigerator, you can put it on your bulletin board, you can just leave it as loose paper on your breakfast bar, whatever works for you. The main key is to keep your kids reading during the summer, and these are just some fun ways to do that. Another way that we like to keep our kids reading during the summer is to visit a local museum or a zoo. There are plenty of things to read at the zoo or your local museum that will help their reading skills when they are searching for the answer, when they are reading with purpose, when they are reading for a reason. Bonus tip number 1. Even the most mundane types of things during the day can be turned into learning experiences. For example, if you take your child with you to the grocery store, or perhaps you're shopping for the day, go ahead and let him or her count the change. Then, if he or she gets it correctly, make sure you capitalize on that. If they do not get it correct, make sure you use that as a teachable moment. Bonus tip number 2. Something else you can do during the summer is take a road trip. Now, the road trip doesn't have to be from state to state. It can just be somewhere in your area. But you can have your child help you map out the road trip so they will know what direction they are going. This will help with mapping skills. And then on that trip, you can check license plates. There's lots of different vacationers throughout the summer. So most likely, no matter what state you are in, you will be seeing license plates from varying states. If your child writes the states on paper or whatever kind of device they want to write it on, that will help with the writing skills. Writing is another one of those things that we want to make sure that we practice during the summer, because when we go back in the fall, it seems like we're playing catch up, or at least I am with my own kids. Bonus tip number 3. You can get creative. It doesn't necessarily have to be writing with paper and pencil. You can write in the mud, or you can write in the sand if you're on the beach somewhere. So just make it fun. Happy reading this summer. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.